It just sometimes it takes a minute.
Okay.
Because literally, I was sitting in my house, like I was sitting where I was practicing it, and it took like a few minutes to get it started. So.
There it goes.
Wait, Dr. Cooper, we're good to go. Now, here's the question, though. How do I list all available comments, enter? So,
where's going with the test?
Should I write down, like, hey, if you have any questions? Yeah. I'll just like, welcome. So how about we'll do this? I'll sit with here the whole time and we'll watch it on the computer with the volume down.
I got on mute.
Okay, we'll turn it up just so we can see if we can hear it. Yeah, there's a few seconds lag. List all available comments. We're gonna have to do it right now.
I am not going to stack this. We have two guys that are doing it years that are doing it. I have just around it in case it's never arrives.
Dr. Cooper, so it's really picking us up. So we'll make sure to be quiet, but just make sure you do talk loudly.
Well, I think once everybody's
I agree. There's about a 20-second behind.
Yeah, and one thing you can do, because I would imagine that the microphone's here, set it on the ground, turn it this way so it catches a little bit more. Yeah.
Question. Do you want to, are we going right now or in a few minutes? I said we'll be starting momentarily. Yeah, right at 6:05. Go.
Everyone, we're going to start our panel at about 6:05, so we'll give you about 2 or 3 minutes. Got a few more people trickle in, so we'll get started in just a minute.
Let's call it. You're good.
So you can also go through Twitter if you want questions.
What's our Twitter handle?
It's green.
UNC_.
It's capital. Or they can use the hashtag SPAD.
Is it all capitalized strong?
No, it's strong. It's just the S.
Ready to move that camera? Have you tested to make sure it's easy for you to move?
Hold on. Okay, so Dr. Cooper, what'd you say?
Move the camera. Move easily? Yeah, good to go. You may want to continue to loosen that if you need to. If that thing is not the nicest thing, so you might have to grab it.
No, it's good. All right, so I'm going to put this right here.
Blacked out, guys. Blacked out. Just started it and blacked out. Started talking about many of the businesses. It just came out. That's exactly what he said. It's very, very different. This is guy crazy.
Sure. Yeah, I know. I see.
Founders. Yes, I like that title.
Yeah. Oh, no worries. Yeah. I just want to make sure you're out.
How much are we going to donate?
Yeah, exactly. Wait a few years.
Yeah. No, I figured. Yeah. No, because I walked out.
Anywhere? What's confusing? Can we just put our own label on it?
I am down.
Getting everybody
For $50.
All right, welcome everybody. We're excited to have you here. If you're here, I'm hoping you know this is an open house for our program. If not, then I don't know how you got here. You'll just have to bear with me. My sense of humor is not very good, but I try real hard. So yeah, we're like I said, very excited to have you here. This is a very important day for our program. I think one of the most important things that we do here is bringing in the right types of students and the right type of people. And I think there's one thing that you'll see when you move through and you see all of these people talk. The one thing that you'll recognize is that what makes us unique is the people, okay? And that's why our students who come in are a part of that. And so the first thing I want to talk about is just our culture. You know, we start tonight, and one of the things that we're doing is we're trying to attract the right type of people. And when we do that, the entire environment, our classes, in the athletic department, everything is better. And so you'll see up on the screens up above, and they gave you a sheet right here, that one of our mantras is SPAD Strong. And what it means to be SPAD Strong, what we did last year is we got our alumni together, we got our students together, we got our faculty together, and we sat down and we said, what does it mean? You know, what does that mean to us? And it was our way of saying, what's our brand vision as a program? You know, where do we want to go? Who do we want to be? And one of the things that I always tell students is, and all of our faculty have agreed on this, is it means to be proactive. We want people who want to go out and be the best in the country at what they do. You know, we want people who want to go out and make a difference in college athletics. You know, there are issues in college athletics, and what we want is we want people who want to go out and not complain about them, but go out and solve them. And so proactive means that. Proactive also means when you get an assignment and it makes you uncomfortable, embracing that. You know, I think you'll see tonight, we had 3 people on our events committee, Andrew Steele, Charlie Herzog, Amy Bungfiglio. They embraced this tonight. We gave them this. We did not give them a lot of direction, and they probably will shake your head. You're right, you didn't. And they went out and they just figured it out. And that's what it's all about. You know, we're also about passion. You know, we don't want people in our classroom, in our athletic department who don't want to be here. We want people who are so excited about the opportunity, you know, and so passion is a part of it as well. You know, work ethic is in there too. I mean, there's so many things that we want to be about. And at the end of the day, you're going to see a lot of those things here. You know, and I don't want to go through all these values. I think you can look at them. But what we're really hoping to do is we're trying to also create a family environment. You know, when we get the right people, we want you to go out and want to be athletic directors, associate athletic directors, whatever it is you want to be. We want you to do that, but not in a way where you go out and you're cutthroat behavior and you're trying to do things the wrong way. You know, we want you working as a cohort to all do that. And I think that the students, if they haven't heard this enough in the class, you know, one thing that we'll say is that when our group is stronger and better, we're all better. Our entire program's better. So for us, this starts tonight. You know, we're looking for the best people who want to come in and embrace what it means to be SPAD Strong. And I think when you get to the end of this thing, you're going to be impressed with the people up here. We just have amazing people. And, you know, I think we all feel blessed to be a part of this university and to have an affiliation with our athletic department, which is outstanding. And so I hope you see that too. And the one thing I always tell, you're going to see up here, and this, I promise, is the last thing I'll say. The one thing that you're going to see is this is not designed to be an easy program. You know, there are grad programs where you just go to class and you graduate and get a degree. This program, you're going to see, is difficult. There are a lot of parts to it. There are a lot of things that you have to balance. Again, that's a part of being proactive. That's a part of SPAT Strong. So thank you so much for coming in here tonight. I'm going to turn it over to Professor Osborne, and she's going to talk about the admissions process and things like that.
Thank you. So because you're here at this open house, we assume that you want to know how to get into this program, right? And that starts with the admissions process. One thing to note is that there are two applications. There is the graduate school application, which is online through their website, and there is the department application. The graduate school recommends that applicants have a 3.0 GPA and score above the 50th percentile on each part of the GRE exam, okay? Those are sort of threshold requirements. We're going to look at your grades and scores, but absolutely the most important thing in your application is going to be your personal statement, okay? Your personal statement is our way of getting some insight into you, and you need to use that to tell us why we need you in our program, okay? This is your sales pitch. Explain to us what it is about you that's unique and different. What are the experiences you've had? What are the qualities that you have? What are the things that make us need you to be in this next cohort? The second most important thing in your application are your letters of recommendation. Okay? Get recommendations from people who really know you. So you've had your opportunity in your personal statement to tell us why we need you. Have people who really know you be able to give us some insight into what it is about you that makes you a strong candidate for this program. People that you don't know very well, you know, department chairs, people with titles that don't know you very well will write very generic letters, and those aren't going to be very helpful for you. Because just about everybody who applies to this program is strong in some way or another. So we need insight into what makes you tick and what you can bring to this program. The second part, besides getting into the program, then people want to know about expenses, costs, funding, etc. One thing that is incredibly unique about our program is that we fully fund you, all right? So if you are admitted into this program, historically, we have been able to fund 100% tuition remission for every graduate student in the program. To earn tuition remission, whether you're in-state or out-of-state, in the first year, you will teach LFIT classes, which are basically physical activity classes. So you get tuition remission, but you also get a stipend that's just a little over $11,000 for the academic year to teach those physical activity classes. We also provide you with health insurance. That package, tuition remission, paid stipend, and health insurance, is arguably the best deal that you will find for a graduate program in the entire country. Okay. Some of you may also, if you have exceptional grades, scores, and a background that is just totally out of this world, you may qualify for a Robertson Scholarship. What's the name of the scholarship? It's a merit scholarship. Okay, merit scholarship. And so if you believe that you're a good candidate for a merit scholarship, then you would be eligible for an additional stipend upon beyond those things. For merit scholarships, we ask that you try to get your application in early. So instead of the January 1 application target, if you get it in by like December 1, you'll get a much fuller review if you think you're a good candidate for merit, okay? All right, so the funding, we fully fund tuition remissions, paid stipend, health insurance. In your second year, in addition to the coursework and thesis that Dr. Wade is going to talk about, you work in a full-time paid internship in the athletics department. So you still get your tuition remission. You get paid that $11,000 plus stipend for working in the athletics department, and you also still get your health insurance. All right, so I'll answer any questions you have later, and I'm turning it over to Dr. White.
Well, one thing that makes our program very unique is the cohort of 9 students. We generally only admit 9, and you take all of your classes together. In the first year, you take 4 courses per semester with an option to take an additional elective if you'd like to. Those courses are listed online, so I'm not going to go into each one of them, but the neat thing is the philosophy of our program, and I think that is to learn with one another, the proactive approach that Dr. Cooper talked about. I feel like I come away from the classes that I teach learning a lot more than, well, I don't know if I learn more than the students, but hopefully we learn together every single day, and I think that it's a very discussion-based and collaborative learning environment. So in the first year, you have the courses, and then in the second year, you have a second year seminar where all of you are dispersed throughout the athletic department, but you get an opportunity to come together once a week to discuss common experiences and really focus on building leadership traits to take you to the job that you will be getting at the end of the year. Also during that time, you'll be working on your thesis. And this is another unique opportunity in our program. Not easy and probably not one of the most favorite parts of many of the students, but it's very important, and it can really set you on a trajectory that sets you apart from all of your competitors in the industry. Your thesis is an opportunity to create knowledge. You get to pick a question that you're passionate about, collect empirical data, and answer that question. And as you go to interview, you will be the expert in that area, and you can really sell that on your interview. So in addition to all of the knowledge that you gain in the coursework and the collaborative learning that we have together, you have an opportunity to go out and create new knowledge that will be on the cutting edge of the field, and that really helps you as you go forward. I'll turn the time over now to CJ Hunter, who is going to talk about committees and mentorship.
Good afternoon, guys. So you've heard the words unique and innovative a lot so far tonight, and you'll hear it a lot more. It's not just buzzwords for our program. We really live it, and I think that the committees and the mentorship program are 2 examples of how we live those values. The committees were something we started last year as a program. Our unique cohort size of 9 allowed us to split up into 3 committees. They were the event planning committee, which the great group put on this event tonight, so you can give them a hand afterwards and thank them. There was also the alumni committee, the alumni outreach committee. They are in charge of connecting and networking with our alumni group, who are some of the most fantastic alumni possible. We have great people on campus and off of campus, and they were really key in doing things with our program and really putting us out there and broadcasting us, not just in North Carolina, not just in the Southeast, but all over the nation. And then our last committee was the marketing committee. Some of the great graphics that you see, some of the documents you've got, our website, are all thanks to the hard work that our marketing committees really put in. And so with those committees, you get unique opportunities to go and do projects, put on interview weekend if you're in the event planning committee. With marketing, you're going to be going and creating videos for the program, working with some of the athletic department members to really sell our relationship and sell our program to people. And then the alumni outreach, you're fundraising, you're working with our alumni. It's all great opportunities no matter what committee you're really on. And then moving on to the mentorship, we mentioned our great alumni. We've been able to connect with our alumni on campus and off campus and create a mentorship program. And that was one of the most fundamentally important things to me during my first year in the program. It was terrifying to have to create a relationship out of nowhere, because you get paired with an alumni on campus and you probably don't have a relationship with that person. And it is great practice for when you are out in the industry and you have to network with people. So you are starting from scratch and building a relationship, and you're selling yourself to this person and working together to get you where you want to be in the 2 years you're in this program. And I really think that I've been very lucky. My mentors on campus, Claire Duffy, she works in the business office, and then my off-campus mentor, Suzette McQueen at Davidson. I think that'll be a relationship I'll have for a long time. And those are people that will be willing to go to bat for me because I took the time to cultivate that relationship. So it's a very important part of our program, very unique and innovative part of our program, all due to our faculty really taking that leap of faith and trying something new. We'll have Jessica Rippey. She'll be talking about our teaching assistantship and operations opportunities during your time in the program.
Thank you, CJ. All right, so kind of like you said, unique, all these opportunities that you guys get in this program. I'm going to get to talk to you guys about two of them tonight. So the first one, teaching LFIT classes. LFIT stands for Lifetime Fitness, and it's a program that UNC has started where every freshman has to take an LFIT class. It is a PE, physical activity class. And so as graduate students in your first year, you get to teach 3 classes each semester of your first year. And as Professor Osborne was explaining, you do teach these classes in order to receive that stipend, but it is a really unique opportunity for you to kind of take ownership. Like I said, you have 3 classes each semester, upwards of 30 students per class. And so you're interacting with 90 students each semester on campus. It really allows you to connect to UNC, the undergraduate students, and kind of feel that sense of camaraderie with the university. But you also get to develop these really unique skills. You get to develop your leadership skills, your public speaking skills, your confidence levels. You might get assigned a class that you do not know anything about, and they're going to trust you to go and teach it for an entire semester. So it's a really unique opportunity. Even if you don't want to go on and be a teacher one day or be a professor, these skills are going to be transferable no matter what profession you decide to go into down the road. So it's a really unique opportunity. The second one is going to be, what am I talking about? Operations. So your first year, you guys are going to get to work home events for, we have 28 sports here at UNC, which is something pretty special here. Not many universities across the country can claim that. So you guys are going to get an opportunity to work a variety of different Olympic sports in addition to football and men's basketball during your first year here. You get to work, like I said, a variety of sports, but also a variety of capacities. So you'll have different roles that you'll work at each of these sports. This will allow you a really unique opportunity to see how college athletics are run from the inside, kind of groundwork level. You get to see the planning, preparation phase, and then the actual execution of the event. The other unique component of that is the amount of different units you're going to work with while doing an operations event. So obviously you're going to work with our event management department who run all of our home sporting events, but you'll also get a chance to work with our compliance department, our marketing department, our Rams Club, all these different units you guys will get to work with firsthand, in addition to our third-party vendors, all of our security staff, our concessions workers. So it's a really unique opportunity to get a kind of broad view of the athletic department and really understand what goes into putting on college athletic events. So if you guys have any questions about either of those afterwards, feel free to find me. I'd love to talk with you about them. But I'm going to turn it over to Hunter Barrett, who's going to talk to you about the second-year internship.
Thanks, Jessica. All right. Hey, my name is Hunter Barrett. I'm going to talk to you tonight about what I think is probably one of the highlights or best parts of our program, which is the second-year internship. So if you are accepted into our program during the second year, you are guaranteed a full-time internship in our athletic department, which I think is pretty awesome. A lot of other sport management programs or sport administration programs, you have to go find your own internship that's on you. This one is guaranteed within our athletic department. So real quick, I'm sure you guys have probably seen this online. I was just going to run through the different areas. We have the Rams Club, we work in athletic fundraising, the athletic director's office, it's sometimes called the administration internship. We have the business office, sport marketing, event management, Tar Heel Sports Properties, which is our external marketing company that handles that kind of stuff. We have football operations, compliance, student athlete development, and then communications and new media. So we have a variety of different areas that you can get involved in. Obviously, I just named more than 9. So we don't fill all the internships in our athletic department. And then once we're placed, the athletic department will go and if they need an intern, and they hire somebody from outside. So you can also get a chance to work with people outside of our program once you enter that internship as well. So what I kind of want to do is just talk about how it kind of forms in the first year, and then I'll talk about what you actually do in your internship in the second year. So in the first year and around October, we have an open house for prospective candidates, right? You guys come, or excuse me, it's before the first year. You guys have the open house now. Sorry, first year we have a internship informational session for the first year. So all of the advisors for each internship will come. You do sort of like a round robin speed dating sort of thing. You can ask them questions about the internship. And then the intern who's currently serving in that internship will also talk about it. So it's a way to get more information about the different ones. You can start sort of developing your own interest, seeing where you might be interested, And then you start working with the current second years and you set up shadowing so that you can go find out more about the internship, see them in their element on a day-to-day basis. And I think it's recommended that you probably shadow at least 3 or 4 different areas because you're required to apply or interview for at least 3 different internships. So then once, I guess, second semester rolls around, probably in about January or February, you start scheduling your own interviews and you go through the current second year. So like we will be doing that this year for our first years. You set up interviews, you interview, and then you rank your preferences as to where you would like to be. And then everybody gets together, the faculty, people from the athletic department, and they sort it out about where to place people. And it's based on our interests as well as the athletic department's interests as well. So then I've just got some stuff about what I call like X's and O's of the internship. Most of them are either 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 every day. It sort of varies. They all have their own different game day or event requirements outside of 8 to 5. So, example, I work for the Rams Club. We work all men's basketball and football games. We also have special events that I'm required to be at outside of the internship as well. Start dates are pretty negotiable. Some start even as early as mid-May or so. Some start in June or July before the actual second year starts. And so it's a good way to go ahead and jump right in once you learn where you're going to be. You can go ahead and get involved. And the summer is sometimes a little bit more of a quiet time during the internship because students aren't here, school's not in. As long as baseball's not still playing, there aren't any sports going on. So it's a good time to sort of get into the internship, learn about it, learn kind of what your responsibilities are going to be before it gets kind of crazy once school starts back up. Depending on what internship you have, you might still have opportunities to work operations or work with event management. Like Jessica said, it just kind of depends on your responsibilities. Most internships require a car. You need a car to be able to run errands for whatever you need to do, get yourself to events, that kind of thing. You have access to parking on campus. I say access to parking, you still have to pay for it, unfortunately, which I won't tell you the number because it'll just scare you away. But you do have access to parking on campus, which is nice. It's right behind. Depending on where you're at, it's normally right around where you're working. So then just to close, like I said, I think this is one of the best parts of our program. You're treated like a full-time employee in your internship. They really depend on us. They really give you a lot of responsibility and expect you to do a really good job. And every time you do anything in your internship, and even whenever you're doing anything in the first year as well, you're representing our program and helping to build and strengthen that already great relationship between SPAD and the athletic department. I think it's a great opportunity not only to get to know people within our athletic department here at UNC who are already extremely established and well-connected in our industry, but also you get a chance to meet people from other places, other ACC schools, other schools that we play. And so it's a great opportunity to network. And sorry, my name keeps swirling up over here. The final thing I'll say is the internship is kind of what you make it. If you sit at your desk every day and just wait for stuff to come to you, you're probably going to find yourself bored. Right? The athletic department staff are not sitting around thinking, oh, what can we give our interns to do today? Right? There are things that you have to do. There are things that you have to manage, but it's up to you to really get involved, to be active, to make yourself a real integral part of whatever team or staff or whatever you're working with. And it's just a great opportunity to sort of tailor the internship as to what you're interested in. And so get the experience that you want. And the athletic department's really vested in our interns. They really care about us. They take care of us. And when it comes time for us to start applying for jobs, there are always going to be recommendations for us. They're going to go to bat for us. They're going to take phone calls for us and all that kind of stuff. And they really help us once we're trying to find jobs in the second year. So that's all I had. Again, if you have any questions, I can answer them later, or feel free to find me later on. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Nels Pop, who's going to talk about what sets our program apart, what makes us unique.
Thanks, Hunter. Very serious group tonight. We can just relax you and smile a little bit. First of all, I do want to say, awesome that we have so many people here. I can't wait to see the Nielsen ratings broadcast here tonight. So hi, everybody out there. So I've been tasked with telling you a little bit about what's unique. This is my second year here, so I guess I have the kind of perspective of the new faculty member on campus. I tried to think of 4 or 5 things that I think make this program unique, and you've already heard some of those things already. One of them that is absolutely at the top of my list is our relationship with the athletic department. I've been at 3 or 4 other programs. Almost every graduate program has some sort of relationship with their athletic department. It's very common to have GAs. It's very common to have athletic administrators be guest speakers to classes. UNC takes it to another level. I've just been amazed when I walk over to athletics, how many people come out and say, what are you guys doing in class? How can we get involved with some of the things you're doing? Can we do some special projects where your students are involved in some of our day-to-day things? And I think that's what really makes it unique. I got my PhD at another ACC school. I won't mention the name, but the relationship was nowhere like what it is here. Part of that is because I think about half of the athletic department staff graduated from the program. So they have some real vested interest in making this a great relationship, which I think is fantastic. Really cool. Second thing, we have such a cool relationship with our alums and with industry. Being at a place like Chapel Hill is really great because of all the opportunities that just fall in your lap. I've been just amazed. It doesn't, it would be no surprise for next week someone from ESPN to be on campus, or someone from Washington Media Group, which has an office over in Raleigh, or someone from the NCAA. There are so many great connections that happen at a place like this. My last institution was a mid-major school. We fought and scratched and clawed for those kind of opportunities. It seems like here they happen to us weekly. So I really think that's a unique thing that you can definitely take advantage of in our program. Related to that, we have a fantastic alumni base. We have, as I think we're the oldest program in the country that is focused specifically on college athletics. As a result, we have alums all over the country working in college athletics, which provides us with an outstanding network. Just reading Sports Business Journal 2 weeks ago, one of our alums, Bernadette McGlade, was named an SBJ game changer. That doesn't happen to every program, but we're a program that has enough history that we have alums that are doing those kind of things. So to build those kind of connections and be able to call on that is fantastic. Last summer, I had a chance to go, well, this past summer, I had a chance to go down to the NACDA conference in Florida. And we had an alumni gathering, and there were probably 30, 40 grads of our program who are working in college athletics all over the country, getting together, had a couple of beers, wanted to talk over what they're dealing with at their institution, talk about relationships that they had with people here. Really cool. You don't get that at every institution. So I think that's another thing that's really special about here. Number 3, you get hands-on experiences. In our classes, we try to get you out of the classroom and doing some things with our athletic department, some real hands-on experiences. In our sport finance class, we did an economic impact study last year for the athletic department. In our facility and event management class, we get out and work the NCAA women's basketball opening round game to the ACC track and field tournament championship that was held here on campus. So we get students. Obviously, there is a classroom component, but we also try to do some real hands-on activities. That doesn't happen at every school. So I think that's something we need. And lastly, I want to bring up, I personally take great pride in this. I think we have outstanding faculty who really care about how our students do. It's very easy at a Research 1 school, which is what UNC is counted as, for faculty to only be concerned about their own personal research line. But here we take a real interest in our students. We also have every one of our faculty members has worked in college athletics. So I think that's great too, that we can bring that industry experience. We have former athletic directors, former SWAs, former media relations folks, former coaches. So we're able to bring that kind of experience into the classroom as well. Again, not going to happen at many other programs. So I think there are a lot of things that set us apart, but to me, those are the ones that really stood out in my mind. And now I'm going to turn it over to our last panelist here, our Executive Associate Athletic Director, Larry Gallen. Larry, the stage is yours.
Good evening, and thanks for coming. Appreciate you all being here. I don't know what to say for crying out loud. Said everything. I don't know what I can add to this and so forth, but I want to say one thing. Everyone was supposed to speak in 5 to 7 minutes. I count like 7 people, that's 42 minutes, so I have to fill this whole time. This sport administration program, I think you all know, started in 1982. And I think probably toward the late 80s, and Barbara, you can help me a little bit here. John Swafford, who was the athletic director here, now is the commissioner of the ACC, got together and had to be with Dr. Mueller, with John Billen, and got together and said, you know, you've got something that we could use, and we have something that you could use. That being students in a graduate program who aspired to be in athletic administration, and an athletic department who could use that help, so to speak, and also give that person great experience at a very young point in their, very early point in their career. So the partnership was made at that particular time, and it's been absolutely wonderful. I've been here for about 17, 18 years. I've been in college athletics, you don't want to know how long, but it's over 40 years. I've been very, very fortunate. I've been in a lot of different positions, coached and so forth. And the one thing I want to impress upon you, I know that you find out if you do decide to come to this program and you are accepted to this program, that people in college athletics in this university, in this athletic department, we think that we're educators. And if coaches don't think that they're not educators, they're going to be lost also too. This is an educational situation, and we really take a lot of pride in that. So I know that Hunter explained the internships. You are going to be a staff member if you're in an internship, excuse me. We value you so much. I think, as we said, you will be mentored. We have a lot of fun. Okay, we check our ego at the door. Okay, we come in and we learn, and it's about relationships. If you come here, you're going to hear me, if I'm still around, talk about relationships and communication and people, and it's not texting, and it's not emailing. It's looking people straight in the eye and telling people things, and discussing things. But it's all about relationships, and we take a lot of pride in our athletic department like here. I think a lot of times people come in, and I think it's great. You have a piece of paper and you write down, 2018, I'm going to be here. 2022, I'm going to be here. 2028, I'm going to be here, so forth and so on. You map everything out. I think that's wonderful. If it comes true, I'm taking you to Vegas. All right? I'm going to take you to Vegas. So what am I saying? A lot of times people come in and they talk about the internship that they want. The first day that they come here is a first year. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Don't pigeonhole yourself. You may not get that internship, but learn about a lot of different aspects. I know, as Jess said, she's in event management. She works with marketing. She works with compliance. She works with every single part of our athletic department. I think a lot of times people are concerned about, I want to build my resume. I think that's great. I think that's absolutely wonderful. But I'm going to tell you something. You are not your resume. You are your work. And that's what's going to define you. A lot of times people just want to have stops along the way and add this, add this. That's wonderful. That's great. But you all know when people recommend folks for jobs, how does he or she do? I'm not going to say in 1999 he was here, 2003 he was here, 2005 he was here. They want to know what type of work that you do. Okay? So I encourage you, don't try to build your resume. It will get built. There's no question. It will get built, and it'll get built very, very well. I think a lot of times people, they're so-called in a hurry to get someplace. There was a great line that I heard. You know, if you win the rat race, you know what you are? You're still a rat. Don't forget where you've come from. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget who helped you to get there. And don't be so concerned about making a living. Right when you went to grad school, I know pay is not great. You're getting welfare wages for full-time work, so to speak, but it will all pay off. Don't be concerned about making a living and forget about making a life. I'm telling you, the folks that are here for 2 years, Jess has been here for, and CJ and Hunter, I think that they can tell you they've had a pretty good time, and they still have the rest of this year to go. People here want to help you. They want to help you get a job, and if sometimes things are right, the stars are aligned, sometimes people stay here. But there are other great places too, besides this athletic department. People talk about our program, it's college geared, oriented, and so forth. There's a lot of other great programs. We don't talk about those other programs. We only are concerned about what we have. I don't care what we have or we don't have. This is who we are, and we're going to take the best advantage of it. So I encourage you to look at this program very, very thoroughly. Has some great folks. It's all about people. It's all about relationships. It has some great folks who want to help you. And it's not a bad place to live. And it's not a bad place to put on your resume. Okay? So if you have any questions after, you can ask them. I appreciate you all coming here, and I appreciate these folks. Obviously, during the first year, the faculty, they shape the students, and we get to know them gradually, but I think over the last couple of 3 years, we've started to initiate some programs where we get a better understanding of who our to-be interns are going to be and what they're like. And it's a we-us mentality. It's not an I-me deal. I think if you go on that particular attitude, you're going to be absolutely fine. So thanks a lot. This is interesting because usually around 6, 7 o'clock at night, my batteries just run out because I'm up around 4 o'clock every single morning. So I'm kind of proud of myself. I know there's some emotion that's programming here right now. I appreciate you all being here, and I think if you were to talk to some of these folks, it turned out okay. It really, really did. So thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Gallo. Thank you to our faculty, and thank you to our faculty and some of our current students, as well as Mr. Gallo and our athletic department for sharing some great insight about our program and why we believe it is one of the best in the country. And so we hope that hopefully through what they shared, you were able to see that as well. We talked about our alumni. We're going to introduce them in just a minute. But before we get there, we've heard a lot of information tonight. We want to give you guys a chance to ask some questions to our panel. Either if you're here with us in person or online, we'd love to answer any questions you might have.
Who's going to be brave enough to go?
Don't be shy.
Okay. Are you guys involved at all with the Student Athlete Advisory Committee? Do you have we call it SAC, correct?
Our graduate program isn't necessarily involved. During the first year and the second year, our graduate students have the opportunity to attend SAC meetings. They also have the opportunity to attend some of the functions with the Carolina Leadership Academy.
And I will say there is a second-year internship that is in student athlete development, and if that's something that you're interested in, it is an internship option that does have direct contact with SAC and with student athletes on a daily basis.
In the student athlete development part of our department, obviously it's student athlete development, I think is a lot like you all know of it. Also there's a leadership academy that we have, which is something that we started over 10 years ago. It's pretty unique, and a lot of campuses now have modeled their program after ours, but it's a pretty unique thing to get involved. But I think, yes, Dr. Osborne said it well as far as the SAC. Student Athlete Development organizes it, but it's a student-driven organization. And it's really kind of taken on a little bit of a new life with our new chancellor. There's a representative from that, from the SAC that is on the faculty committee in athletics. And there's another representative that is on, I forget what it's called, just before we just started this program. It's this letters, it's an acronym and so forth. But there's an advisory group of students that the chancellor has on campus, and somebody is involved in that from SAC too. So it's starting to get to be a pretty big deal. And help me out, Nick, right? Nick Fulton went through the program about 3 or 4 years ago, and now is a member of our Rams Club staff. Nick was the president of the National Center. He's a swimmer from Wisconsin. So, yeah, he had that infiltrated by center.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I graduated from here 2 years ago. And I've been an intern and full-time at Kimball since I graduated. Are there advantages or disadvantages of applying after being full-time somewhere and being out of undergrad for a while?
Yeah, I mean, I can jump in on that. I mean, I think everybody up here would agree that, I mean, we have students who come straight out of school. We have students who have experience. I mean, there's not necessarily a way that makes it perfect, but I mean, certainly we welcome experience. I think there's something too when you go out and you gain experience, just not only gaining experience, but truly knowing what it is you want to do. And the one thing, you know, we sometimes try to avoid is, you know, when people are from UNC, I have to stay here only because I'm from UNC. That's not a good reason to come to our program. A good reason is because you listen to all the things that are being set up here and you say, I want to be here because this is going to help me with my career. So, you know, we like that. But then again, there's undergrads who are so proactive that they have, you know, they almost have 2 years of experience because they've had so many internships. And when they've shown that, you know, that can happen as well. So we've had both though, but I think we all definitely would like to have some of that experience as well.
I'll take it one step further. I think when we have a discussion about applicants, I weigh that more heavily. I think people that have experience outside of undergrad or don't come directly from undergrad, I tend to look at them even more closely because I think it's been, I love having discussions in class where a student can say, yeah, I remember when this happened at my last position. That's great.
One thing we didn't mention during this whole discussion is talking about diversity. And I mean diversity in the broadest sense of that word, in where you're from, what you do, what you're interested in, and the experiences that you bring, whether those were undergraduate experiences, whether those were internship experiences post-graduation, whether those are full-time career. We've had students that have completely changed their careers and come back to this program. But all of those things add to what Dr. Waite was talking about the learning experience in the classroom. That we try to get a cohort of 9 students who bring as many different experiences as possible to us so that everyone gets the best experience possible from that. So make sure you sell that on your application.
I had kind of a follow-up question from the first question. And I know there are an array of opportunities and a lot to soak in, and this could be as general as possible. Just from being in a sports administration field, what kind of opportunities are there for mentorship directly with athletes or getting chances to really impact a team per se, or community environment?
I'd say that it depends on what opportunities you kind of make for yourself. Is the best way I can say that. And we've talked about the Carolina Leadership Academy, and there's the opportunity to go and work CRE meetings on the first Mondays of each month, and that is heavily student-athlete-based interaction where you're setting up their CRE meeting. It's a lot of freshmen and then veteran leaders inside and CRE mentors inside the Carolina Leadership Academy. When you go into your internship, I'm working in sports information, and I am working with the team and on a day-to-day contact basis with the team. I'm not necessarily a mentor for them, but if they have an interest in the field or something like that, I'm already building a relationship with them so I can serve as that to them if they're interested in it.
I'd like to add, I personally think that I hear this a lot from students that I want to further my educational career because I want to give back. I want to help student athletes. I had a great experience as a student athlete or whatever. To be honest, especially in big time college athletics, I think the majority of administrative positions are not positions that you deal directly with student athletes a lot. There certainly are exceptions, media relations, there may be some opportunities, I would say academic services, student athlete development positions, obviously coaching. But if you look at marketing and development, facility management, those type of positions, they really aren't working with student athletes on a regular mentorship type basis. And I think that's one of the misconceptions a lot of people have. Now, if you were to work at a Division III school or a high school or something like that, it may be a little different. But in my personal experience, that's more the reality of it. I think it's a good point to understand.
If you're looking for kind of a mentorship avenue, the Lifetime Fitness program is a great opportunity for that, because you're going to have 30 students in 3 classes, and they're often freshmen or sophomores, and some of them may be athletes, and they're going to look at you as a professor, even though you're a teaching assistant, and they're going to ask you about, when you were an undergrad, can you tell me about how you got through exams? Or they're going to, you're giving them Lifetime Fitness tips, you're helping them through stressful periods, you're helping them as they transition into college, and so that kind of fills a mentorship role as well. I have a great interest in coaching. It was one of the reasons I came to this program. I wanted to get my foot in the door with an athletic department. I wanted to improve my relationship with the athletic department, and so I kind of see where you're coming from with that. And Elfit was above and beyond helpful for me because I was able to work on sport-specific skills as far as coaching and also developing relationships with college-age athletes, which I haven't had any experience yet. Thanks.
I want to add just one thing that we didn't talk about, that I think is sort of new. I'm going to ask Nels in just a second to talk about a field trip that we have planned for December. But one thing we're trying to do is to get out of, we have an awesome relationship with UNC. We use that as often as possible. One thing we're trying to do is expose our students to different things. So in November, we're going to go over and we're going to do lunch with Debbie Yao, the athletic director at NC State, and she's going to talk to us about what they're doing. We have people coming in from Duke. We have people coming from different areas. It's really important for us to have our students get different types of opportunities. So that's something we're really emphasizing. And I want to turn it over to Nels because the thing that he's planned in December is really pretty cool.
That's good. Yeah, I would echo that too. I think we've tried to expand our network a little bit more. We've had speakers via Skype or in person from a lot of different institutions. I was thinking this semester we've had someone from Wisconsin, someone from Ball State, someone from Oregon, Duke, NC State coming up here. So I think we've tried to do that a little bit. Another thing we're trying to do to build that network, we're planning a class trip this year, December 5th and 6th. We're going to head out to Winston-Salem in the morning, Friday morning, go see Wake, go see IMG College, which is based in Winston-Salem. And then in the afternoon, we're going to go down to Charlotte and check out the ESPNU SEC Network studios down there and spend some time learning about what they have going on, networking. We're going to try to catch a Hornets game that night. And then the next day, Saturday, is the ACC football championship game at Bank of America in Charlotte. And we've been actually asked by the ACC to do some research for them. So we're going to look at their Fan Fest event prior to the game. And then after the game, we're going to be doing some market research with spectators there. So I think we've all wanted to reach out and try to do a little bit more of that. Our relationship with UNC is unbelievable, but there is actually more to the world than UNC in the world of college athletics. So we'd like to make sure we're touching those places as well.
Yeah, I'd say building on that too, just the quality of people that Nels talked about. I mean, Dr. Waite recently invited us in. She had Todd Turner come in, and you want to mention anything about Todd? Or
Todd was a former athletic director at 4 institutions, and now he's the president and CEO of Collegiate Sports Associates, one of the leading search firms in Division I and Intercollegiate athletics. So we got his perspective, and we followed it up by providing one of our faculty members, Dr. Malikoff, came in, who was a former athletic director at a Division III school. So we saw the difference between a search firm perspective on the search and a Division III perspective on the search and the administration class, which was really neat. But using our alums, we have the commissioner of the West Coast Conference stepping in, and genuinely, we do not have as many classes as we have opportunities for guest lectures. There are so many amazing people that are willing to give to our program that it's sometimes a challenge to decide what amazing person or how much time we have to provide all of these opportunities. So it's really neat.
And just to show how interconnected it all is, that Todd Turner came and spoke to our class last year. one of our classmates reached out to him, and Todd Turner is now on his thesis committee. So he's advising him on his thesis as he goes through this process. So not just the alumni are great resources and mentors, people that come and speak to us in our classes, you kind of take that opportunity and make the most out of it.
And Todd was a UNC alum, not a sport admin UNC alum. We need to congratulate him, but the UNC family is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and the final thing I'd add is the reason that I want to bring that up, and we could talk about Professor Osborne's classes as well, but just that stuff doesn't happen if you don't have faculty that are really, really committed to making it an excellent, experience. I mean, people reaching out to do these things is what it's all about. Our faculty are really passionate, and you'll see that in the classroom as well because of that.
Any other questions? You'll have an opportunity to meet some of our faculty and some of our current students as well.
Just wanted to pick up what this gentleman talked about in the right position and athletic where you're working with the student athletes, directly with coaches and so forth. And what Nelson is absolutely true. But I'll say one thing. If you're ever a sports supervisor, that's when you can get to know the kids' parents probably as best as you possibly can, still keeping distance. The reason why I say that is you know better than I do the day that we live in today as far as how information gets out. And, to be perfectly honest with you, it scares us to death in the sense that we can't know everything, be every place, every single time. We try to keep a pulse on what's going on with our program, just in case, so we don't get blindsided. Then again, there's times we end up getting blindsided. That's kind of a negative thing that I just kind of threw out there, but I'll tell you, one of my main duties is I oversee the whole sports program, and we have a sports administrators meeting once a month, and we come up with topics, and we talk about things as far as how to go about it. And it's just not because I've been doing it for 4 years that I learned things from somebody that just started doing it. We just exchange ideas and have a dialogue. Sure, there's some things that we obviously have to, learn in a certain manner and so forth. But I think if you're a sport administrator and you don't get to know the kids, you're not doing a real good job. The kids need to know, I should say the students need to know that they feel comfortable enough that they can come to you if need be. Now I'll give you your first lesson. If the student comes to me and says, Coach, is doing so-and-so, what's my answer? And you talk to coach. Sometimes that's difficult for an 18, 19-year-old to do with a coach that's been coaching 30, 35 years, something like that. But that's one thing I think if you become a supervisor of a sport, you will have pretty good interaction with the students. And you can know who the heck you are. A number of years ago, we had a situation with an exit where one student said, I had no idea who the heck to go. That's not a red flag. That's an absolute tsunami, so to speak. So I just want to follow up with that.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. As I was saying, you'll get a chance to meet some of our faculty and our current students, ask them any more questions you have in just a moment at a reception we have for you guys. But before we get there, to wrap up this portion of our evening, I would like to introduce you to the rest of our current students, as well as some of our alumni. You met 3 of our current second-year students, CJ, Jessica, and Hunter, already. And I would like to introduce the rest of our first years. I'll get to John.
I just want to say something. John Bruner, who is in our athletic department and event management, is a graduate of this program and really tells me what's going on with this program more than I know. He is a person that is deeply and passionately involved with this program. And if you come here, you'll learn that in a heartbeat. John had a little previous engagement for a while and couldn't be here, otherwise you would have heard him speak. It's better.
And I'll let John introduce himself in just a second with our alumni. First, I want to introduce our current students to you. I'll let them introduce themselves. So we'll start right over here.
Good evening, guys. I'm Amy Configlio. I'm the first year here as Smith. I'm from London, Ohio originally, and I'm a grad at UNC. Hello everyone, my name is Kate Canner. I graduated in May of 2012 from Georgia Tech, and I graduated in high school.
I'm Alex Rankin, also first year. I went to Tulane University, graduated in 2013, and I grew up in Hillsborough, North Carolina.
And I'm Charlie Herzog, graduate from the University of Miami. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana.
And I haven't introduced myself. I'm Andrew Steele. I'm also a first year. I'm from High Point, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina. And I did my undergrad here, graduated in 2011. So thank you, students. And now I'd like to introduce you to some of our larger, sorry, Archer. He's running our camera. So,
How's it going?
Archer Bain. What was the question? Sorry, I was paying attention to get the camera around. But I'm from Greenville, North Carolina. From Barton College down the road. And if you were really interested in college athletics, this is definitely a place to be. Sorry about that, Archer.
No,
He's one of our marketing branding committee members running our online hangout tonight. So lastly, you've heard a lot about our extensive alumni, all the great things that they're doing, the connection we have with them, mentorships. And so we have a few of them here with us tonight. This is how much they care about the program. They come back from all over the place just to be here for an open house and just to get a chance to meet you guys and to support us. And so we really appreciate that. So I want to give them a chance just to introduce themselves. John.
I'm John Boone. I went to a small school called Ithaca College. I worked at Cornell University in athletics before coming here for graduate school. Then I worked at Harvard for a bit, came back working at Ticket Office here now, and that management. I also have some sport administration duties. I'm pleased to work so closely with this wonderful faculty, all the bright young graduate students.
I'm Scott Blangian. I'm originally from outside Philadelphia in South Jersey, and I'm one of the people that the panel here talked about who went to work in the real world, per se, for about over 10 years before deciding to go back to grad school. I wouldn't recommend that route necessarily. Might be a little too long, but I feel like I finally have gotten that on track and found a career that I really enjoy and pursue doing for the future. And so I was a graduate in 2012 from the program, and I did my second year internship in sports marketing, now the current assistant director of sports marketing, after spending a year down at University of Central Florida before coming back here. It's my second year back at UNC.
My name is Kendra Hancock. I'm an alum from 2011. I'm from California, Kentucky, small town outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. I currently serve as an assistant director of academic services and student athlete development at Campbell University, which is about an hour away from here.
How do you do that? I'm a cohort with Kendra, and I'm from Hickory, North Carolina. Graduated here with my bachelor's in 2009 and master's in 2011. I just got my PhD from Tennessee. Now I'm an assistant professor of sports studies at Guilford College in Greensboro, North Carolina. So that thesis that everybody hates, and knowing where your path takes you, and that's I never would foresaw myself being there, but this program definitely helped prepare me for a lot of different options. So they great mentorship.
Me. I'm Davis Whitfield. I am the commissioner of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. I spent about 15 years in college athletics, and we didn't use words like cohort when I came into the program. The first year is wonderful. I was an athlete here, well, sort of. I watched a lot more than I played, but I was still part of the athletic department. And I had to teach racquetball my first year, and I had never played racquetball in my life. But it was a lot of fun, and we learned together. And so teaching in the first year was one of the highlights, I thought, of the program. And then certainly the internship. When you meet guys like Larry Gallo and others in our athletic department that do really care about you as a person and care about you as a student, but also in your development. That's one of the reasons why I'm standing here today, is because in 1995, when I graduated from this program, I volunteered at the ACC Baseball Championship. Well, guess who was at Wake Forest at the time? Relationship. And I spent some time at Wake Forest because of him. Then went to the Atlantic Coast Conference, and now I'm back in high school athletics for a number of reasons. But great program. I think it does prepare you for the future, and you can see some of the examples of that if you're fortunate enough to be admitted.
Thank you very much. 49 more guys like that. Realize that? Right?
thank you very much to our alumni. So hopefully you caught some names and where they're from and what they're doing, along with our current students, give you an opportunity to meet some of them here in just a minute. We were going to wrap up this portion of our open house. We have some refreshments, some drinks, things that we'd like to share with you guys. We'd love the opportunity to meet you for a few minutes. At 7:40, John Bruner will be leading a brief facility tour as well as taking a group to the women's soccer game. The second half of the women's soccer game tonight, they're playing Wake Forest. They're playing Wake Forest over on Fetzer Field. So if you can join us, we'd love to have you. Some of our current students, possibly some of our alumni will be headed that way. And just another opportunity to interact and get to know you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks for being here.
You say something, or you just kind of
do you want to say something?
Yes, special thanks for everybody who came. This is the end of it. So just let us know if you have any questions. Thank you for attending.